Hello, I'm Aubrey Shepherd. Last week I talked about some of the flowers and butterflies briefly from World Peace Wetland Prairie. I thought today I'd concentrate on just one flower and show you a bunch of pictures and you'll get more familiar with it. This one's very interesting. Last year it was very tall. So to me it's an exciting wildflower that grows wild here, and it appeared on World Peace Wetland Prairie without being planted. That's the nice thing. It's one of the natives that came up on its own there after we'd cleared a space of honeysuckle. Anyway, let's go to the photos now. And it's called the basket flower, the American basket flower, or Centaurea Americana. And that's a family of flowers that basket flower is the Americana version. This is one of the buds. You can see it's shaped like a basket. And now you see one standing tall. I'm standing less than 6 feet tall, and I'm pointing the camera upward to get that picture so you can see how tall it got last year. There's a close-up, zoomed up on it a bit. You can see a bud that hasn't opened in the background. Let me read you a description today while we look at the flowers, and they won't go with a particular picture at the moment, but it will be the same flower in different configurations. The Centaurea Americana. This is from the University of Texas, I believe, that I'm looking at. And it's also from the Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center. If you remember President Johnson, his wife, planted wildflowers all up and down the highways of Texas, and they were truly beautiful. And this is one that they planted, I think, and that they've got on their list now. All these that you're looking at are the same thing, the American basket flower. Now, some people call them the American star thistle or even star thistle, but that's not a good name because it's very different from the thistle. American wildflower or American basket flower is a member of the aster family. It's native to the United States, and you can find it in many states, not just Arkansas. It's 1.5 to 1.5 feet to 5 feet tall. Well, they were closer to 8 feet tall last year during our super rainy year on World Peace Wetland Prairie. I'm looking up to take the pictures in nearly every case here, and I'm zooming from several feet away, so they're probably, some of them had to be very close to 10 feet tall. I had no way of measuring them out there without getting a ladder and going up there with a tape measure because I couldn't reach nearly to the top. Anyway, it's an annual. It has a stout, leafy, much branched stem and lavender pink filamentous flower heads with cream-colored centers. The flower heads are 4 to 5 inches wide and are subtended by fringed bracts. That's what's hanging down there, guys. When they're hanging way down like that, this is one that's just opening that you see on the screen right now, and a bud up at the top. But then when you see them hanging down, now that's more open. You can see an insect on it. I can't tell from here looking over at the monitor, but I believe it is might be a wasp or some kind of bee in that case. Anyway, you can see how the bottom of it looks like a basket and how the filaments sticking up. Now there it's opened a little more. This isn't necessarily the same flower. In some cases it may be at different stages because these were made from sometime in July through August. So some of the same flowers appear. But the ones where it droops down to the side, that's it as it gets older, and you'll see some of them have turned brown. But see how it looks like a brush in that picture there. One of its names is the shaving brush. You can see why people put that name on it years ago. And there's one that's really spread and fully open and is a pretty decent picture considering my camera skills. There you can see, get an idea. Straight ahead, my face is down several feet from the top of that. I'm looking straight ahead, and that's way up in the top of a wide angle shot. Yeah, there you can see one that's actually, you've got 4 there that are in different stages, but the brown one's when it's going to seed afterward. Anyway, let's see what are the characteristics. It's an annual. This means it has to come up from seed, so you don't want to You don't want to get rid of the seed pods. You don't want to cut these down until they have gone to seed. You don't have to cut them down. It'll go to seed standing, and it's really beautiful. It's an annual. It's an herb. It's a couple of other things. It's listed for 20 states minimum here. It's likely to be on the edge of a woodland area, or in openings in the woods, on the prairie, on the plains, in meadows, pastures, savannas, just a lot of different places. It can live in short shade and bloom, light part shade. It likes sunshine pretty well. It can get by in dry ground. I've found it on steep rocky hillsides where there was enough soil for it, and there it's not very tall. But down there in World Peace Wetland Prairie, in that deep, rich, black prairie soil that's common in northwest Arkansas around just off our streams after they drop off the hills, there you'll find it in very wet soil. It's got a sweet honey fragrance and makes brilliant cut flowers. Anyway, it looks sort of like thistles, but it lacks their prickly characteristics. And it's easily cultivated in your home garden. So this is one I recommend to you, and please come out next summer and see it in bloom at World Peace Wetland Prairie. Till next time, this is Aubrey Shepherd asking you to do your part to help keep the water clean, the woods green. Let's see. The water clean, the air pure, and the woods green. I think I did it right this time. Thank you.